My first year of sewing was quite the learning curve, and it all started with restoring the Airstream that I live in now and needing to make curtains for all of the windows that I have in here. So I picked up a used sewing machine on Facebook Marketplace for $50 and I got to work. So a lot of the projects that I'm going to show you in this video was done with the Singer Merit 4525. Recently, I replaced that sewing machine, which I think was purchased in 1991 originally, with this newer one that I also bought used for $85, and it's the Singer Heavy Duty Classic 44S. And I'll link everything that I used for sewing in my description below. Even though the Airstream build was the reason why I started sewing, the interest was always there. My mom sews, and she taught me some things when I was younger, but nothing really that I remembered once I got started. And I had always kept some beautiful fabric that would come my way, thinking one day I will start sewing. And that day came about a year ago as I was restoring this Airstream, and I also took the opportunity to play around with the sewing machine that I just got. I figure even with the $50 sewing machine plus the materials, it would cost me less to do it myself than if I were to contract somebody else to do it. So I did it myself. And my channel, Megan House, is all about making things at home. I'm a complete beginner at sewing and I am completely self-taught. So if you want to join me on this journey, make sure you're subscribed because I have a lot of more sewing videos coming, including a lot of thrift flips and tutorials. I've already put a lot of my projects onto shorts on this channel and they've done pretty well, so I figure I'll do more long form content so I can get into the details of each project. So without further ado, let's get to all of the things I sewed in my first year as a beginner sewist. We're gonna start with my curtains because that was my biggest motivation to get into sewing in the first place. I made all of these curtains for my Airstream. I have a total of 7 windows, but the 7th window is a combination of 3 windows. It's a panoramic window in the front of my camper. And I didn't know anything when I first started this project. I would have definitely purchased linen fabric straight from a distributor by the yard and cut them exactly how I needed them to, but I didn't really know anything, so I purchased these on Amazon and then I cut them into the sizes that I needed them to be. I also sewed some blackout fabric in the back and it's on a different track than the actual curtains that I sewed. And I also added some magnets to make sure that it can close together, because without this blackout fabric, if we have our lights on in here, everyone can see everything. And I mean everything. So it was important for us to have a double layer. A lot of people just do the blackout fabric, but I also wanted to have some curtains that will let the light through. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's holding up pretty well. It's been about a year and I'm pretty happy with my work. I knew that this was a big project and I wanted to make sure I practiced a rolled hem before I went ahead and did the curtains, because the curtains are a very visible part of my entire home and I wanted to make sure that it looked good, and practicing is always a good idea. So I started my journey with these napkins, and this is 100% European flax linen and the fabric comes from an upcycled duvet. The fabric is so nice and I had only used the duvet for a few months, and since I wasn't loving the color for my bedding, I decided to upcycle that duvet and make some napkins. I made a few more that just didn't make it. Someone thought that they were cleaning rags and decided to clean up some nasty stuff with them, so they didn't last. I don't know if you can really tell, but these are 2 different colors. This is what the fabric looked like before, and this is the fabric that I decided to dye with coffee, and it gives it a little bit of a dustier brownie color, whereas the original color is more of a baby pink. I'm all about sustainability and not using single-use things if you don't have to. Dinner napkins is one of those things that I think every home should have. And I had been eyeing some dinner napkins that were probably $40 to $50 for a pack of 6. And I made these basically for free because I upcycled that duvet cover. It was a great project for me to practice these rolled hems. I mean, some of them don't look great, but by the time I got to the 6th one, it ended up being pretty good. Going along the lines of the things that I needed, I was retiring some old towels, and I knew those towels were organic cotton and they were never bleached. and it was just losing its absorbency, so I decided to cut them up and make them into rags. Each one ended up giving me 8 rags, so I was able to make 16 rags in total. What I did was I grabbed the towel and then I cut them into these equal shapes, and these ended up being a pretty good square. And I just went ahead and zigzag sewed them on the edges. I don't need them to look good, I just need them to function. And truthfully, they're already kind of falling apart because they're well loved and I use them all the time. And this helps me save on paper towels. So this is much more of a sustainable way to upcycle something that is probably just going to go into the trash. Right now I'm showing you all of the stuff that is useful for the home, and the next thing I'm going to show you is something that I'm really excited about. It was actually an upcycle, but it's a mason jar cover, and I put a little buttonhole here for a straw. I live in a camper and bugs get in a lot, and the last thing I want to do is have a beverage, come back to it, and have some bugs just hanging out, lounging by the pool in my water. So I decided to put these mason jar covers together, and I was able to upcycle these old linen shorts that I tried to hem, and it just didn't go well. So this is a really cool beginner sewing project that I was really happy to do, and I think I'm going to make a bunch more. So if you guys want a tutorial, let me know. I did make a short and put it on the channel about this, so I'll play it right now. I completely botched the hem job on these shorts and cut them way too short. So I'm gonna upcycle this linen fabric to make a cover for my mason jar. I'm not that hard on myself about it because this was one of my first sewing projects I did, and I just really didn't know what I was doing. Trust me, if I thought anyone would pick up these shorts at the thrift store, I definitely would have donated it, but it was finished so badly that I didn't have a lot of confidence that it would. So instead of letting it go to landfill, I'm gonna upcycle it into something that I actually need. I've had it on my list to make covers for my mason jars since the bugs are out to play and I don't want to share my drinks with them. This is my daily water cup, so I want to be able to put a straw in, and since I'm teaching myself how to sew, I thought this would be a great opportunity to practice buttonholes. I've never successfully been able to make one with my sewing machine, so it gives me a reason to practice. And this is the final product. I absolutely love it. Now hold my drink while I go make 10 more. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is something that I really needed, and you'll notice that a lot of the first projects I've done were big necessities, and I really needed an apron. I put this together without a tutorial and I thought, oh, you can totally just think it up in your head and put it together, and it did not come out that well. I mean, I don't even have the right thread color. You can see right there I used white. I made the strap that goes around your head a little too long, so I just went ahead and folded it. I'm noticing that my more recent projects have much better solutions to my mistakes, and I've been much more willing to just take things apart and start over, whereas in the beginning I would get really frustrated and kind of come up with a half-assed solution to my bad sewing. Like, look, I learned how to gather, which was fun, practice a tight rolled hem, like a really thin rolled hem, and it was a good project in that regard. I do use this, but I kind of more so use it as a bib. I do want to make another one sometime soon. Something that like looks really cute, that's really functional, has pockets. I'll come up with something and we'll make it together. Another project that I did before the curtains was making some pillowcases, because I have this camping blanket that kind of turns into a pillow. It's called Voided, and I didn't want to throw pillows that were just like decorative for such a small space. I live in 150 square feet. It's actually a blanket. So I was like, you know what? I want to use this, but I don't like the color. So I decided to make pillow covers from the same pink linen fabric, and I decided to do this pretty early on, and it was still in my practicing phase. It's okay, it definitely gets the job done, but I definitely would change things up if I were to do it again. But I'm not going to do it again for these. On to the next one. I'm not really showing you these in sequential order, but it's kind of in sequential order. The next thing I started to do with sewing is make hair accessories, especially scrunchies. I actually put out a tutorial step-by-step guide in a short form video on this channel, so I will link it below so you guys can check it out if you want to make them. But I made these really cute scrunchies, and honestly, I buy these So I just decided, hey, I will just start making my own. I upcycled this fabric. This fabric was gifted to me, and this was upcycled from the same pink fabric. And I decided to make a little bow because after I finished all of the household projects and my curtains were done and I moved into my new home, I brought out the sewing machine again for things that I want. And in the beginning, the projects were really about what I needed, but I think that scrunchies are definitely a want and need. I prefer to use scrunchies because they're like easier on my hair, and I think I have pretty fine hair. So when I use hair ties, it really pulls out my hair. So scrunchies are just way safer for your hair. I guess I'll give you a little demonstration. I mean, how cute. And hair accessories, like that is some fun stuff, if you ask me. Okay, we are finally gonna get into clothing. Practically, the reason why I want to get into sewing is to save myself some money, and something that I always need is my pants hemmed. I am 4'11", so I'm short. And even the short sizes can come a little too long. So I usually ask my mom to hem my pants for me, or I just don't buy pants that I have to hem, and I would just roll them up instead. But really, if I want like the nice, clean, crisp look, I want to hem my pants. So when I started to work on clothing, I decided to start with these pair of linen pants. You'll notice it's the same as my shirt, and I decided to order the linen top and the pants thinking, oh, a two-piece, that's cute. But they really, I mean, I look like a blueberry when I wear them together, so I just wear them separately with different colors. But I'm really, really, really happy with the hem job on these pants because look, it looks so professional and so clean. And I definitely think that doing the napkins and doing the curtains really helped me practice for this specific skill. And this is the reason why I think that everyone should sew. It's to make alterations to your clothes. If they're ill-fitting, you can take it in. You can modify your clothes into something that is more flattering for your figure. So I hemmed these. And I also had a jumpsuit that was way too long in the crotch. And I decided to cut it in half and make it a two-piece. So I attached an elastic to the band and made these a nice pair of linen pants. And I just cut the top and hemmed it on the bottom. And it's nice and breezy. It's really nice to wear around the house or even out. I love, love, love the color, and it has pockets already built in. So those were the next two projects that I did. But that wasn't the first time I worked on clothes. I did a few while I was doing the Airstream, but you can tell that I was not relaxed. And my mom would say to me all the time, if I'm doing something and it looks like crap, it's because I was not relaxed when I was doing it. So I want to show you the first garments I made, and don't judge me. Don't judge me. I actually wear this all the time. So these are the first shorts that I made, and I was really looking to make a pair of pajamas. I'll give it to me, they work. I can wear them, and they're not falling apart or anything. I've got a nice hem on the bottom here. Needs work a little bit, but I had a hard time putting this together. I definitely cut it too small, and it was self-drafted. And at this point, I have not used a pattern at all. I also upcycled this elastic from a pair of pants that were falling apart. I mean, it works, but if you look on the inside, we're talking raw edges. And look at my seams. Oh, and look, I have a thread just hanging out. Like, I never finished the garment. I just started wearing it, I guess. Like, look at this seam. I zigzag stitched each side and just like, I guess, I didn't press anything. So you can tell this is my first garment. Like, you can definitely tell that I wasn't relaxed. And I also made a top to go with these shorts. This one's funny. So I just grabbed a long piece of rectangle. I gave myself a lining on the inside, as you do, but to close it up, I just decided to flap it and sew it like that, and that's it. So, I mean, like, this doesn't look good. You can also tell that it's well loved because of all the stains on it. I will say my hem job looks pretty good. This was also, like, I was thinking up in my head, oh, I could make a shirt, and this is how it would work, and this is how I would put together. And it didn't come out like professional, so I don't know what happened. So I cut the straps too long, and I had already sewn them in, and instead of just taking them apart and resizing them, I decided to attach an elastic, and I mean, it worked. It looks like crap. It's a little tight, and do you want me to show you the seams on the inside? Looks like I folded it over and then zigzag stitched, which makes no sense. If I were rating, I would rate this very low. But it is made of the same fabric as the napkins and upcycled from that duvet. And you'll notice a lot of my projects are made from that fabric. Other than the elastic, I didn't pay anything to make this. So now that I know a little bit more and I know how to finish my seams well, this just seems like a really shoddy job, but I'm really proud of myself for trying. It was only after I did this that I knew I had to slow down, follow directions, and kind of come in with a plan and really gain some more experience with sewing before attempting something like this. That brings me to my next project, which is a matching set from the same fabric. If you guys are watching my shorts, then you already have seen me put this matching set together. I sewed this tank top and hair bow, but it deserves to be a matching set. I don't know if it's the wagon I'm dragging, but I have yet to sew a pair of shorts that fit. And everyone says this is a beginner sewing project. So for my third try, I decided to get a pattern because I thought for sure I'm not gonna mess this up. And I think I messed up more times during this sewing project than any other one. First, I read the directions wrong and sewed the wrong pieces together. And at this point, I cannot live without my seam ripper. I think I need to pick up a few extras because I use it all the time. I sewed the sides using a French seam, which I was so excited to show you guys because I just learned how to do it. But when the shorts came together and I tried them on, well, I just about had it. So naturally, I put baby in the corner for about a full week before pulling her out again. I asked you guys what I should do to fix these shorts and got a lot of suggestions, but decided to go with adding panels on each side. And at this point, I was freestyling because I also did not have the right size elastic for the waistband, but I like to use what I have, okay? But truthfully, I'm really glad I didn't give up because saving a project makes completing a project a little bit more exciting. Now the question is, should I wear it tucked or untucked? These are the shorts that I made, and I think they are so much better constructed. Like, the hem is much thinner and it's much nicer. The waistband looks so much better. Even though I used the wrong size waistband, I still made it work. This pair of shorts gave me such a hard time because I was actually using a pattern, and there's nothing wrong with a pattern. I'll actually link it down below for you guys if you want to get it. It was like $2.70. I was not paying attention to the pattern and I made such a small size, so I had to improvise, so I had to abandon the pattern. I mean, it turned out pretty good, so my ability to fix things has changed from put an elastic on it and zigzag stitch it to like making a pretty cute pair of shorts, and they're super comfortable. I also decided that I wanted to try to make my favorite top, and I have it here. And just so you know, I did not make this top. I purchased this linen top from Quince and I wear it all the time. So I decided, hey, I can probably make this. And I think it turned out pretty well. So I have two matching sets. If you saw my short, I made a dress pretty soon after I got my sewing machine, and it didn't turn out really well. So I modified it and made this dress. There is no way I can wear the first dress I ever sewed. The fit is awkward, the seams are atrocious, and most importantly, it's way too short. It's 100% linen, so I kept this dress with the hopes of taking it apart and making something else, and I'm finally ready to pick it up again. Now that I have more experience with sewing, I can see what a huge difference it makes to take your time and not rush. I really thought that I could watch a video tutorial, self-draft that first dress, and get it right on the first try. But what's cool is I can see my skills improving with every project. I'm still a beginner at sewing, and I am definitely one of those people who need to learn by making mistakes. You can warn me 1,000 times not to do something, but I need to learn the consequences of my actions for it to stick. With this project, I pinched the top to the skirt wrong twice, and I had to start over. I also wasn't sure how long I wanted the dress to be, so I definitely overcompensated just a little bit here. In my opinion, the second dress is really cute and super breathable, but I think it would look better with a tie around the back instead of this elastic. What do you guys think? And truthfully, I don't love it. I'm not reaching for it. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I've got to put that dress on today. So I think I'm going to switch this up. If you guys have any ideas of what to make this into, I would love to hear it. I just not super happy with how it turned out. And I really need to love how things wear to wear them often. I added an elastic on the bottom, and I don't know, it just makes the front look a little weird, and I don't know. I'm just not happy with it. So I will be changing this up. If you guys have been watching my shorts, then you'll know that I've been thrift flipping. And thrift flipping is when you go to the thrift store, you buy a garment, and then you turn it into something else. The first thrift flip that I did was a nightgown, like an undergarment, and I thought it was like a beachy dress, but apparently the internet told me I was wrong, and I was.
This dress was a waste of money. I thrifted this dress for $10 without trying it on, and it looked horrible on me. So I thought maybe turn it into a skirt. I don't have a lot of sewing experience, but I never say no to a thrift flip challenge. So for this project, I decided to cut off the long part and attach an elastic. I've only done this once before, so I had to watch a couple tutorials before I remembered how to do it. I'm just looking for something flowy and breathable to throw on my bathing suit at the beach this summer. I thought maybe turning it into a skirt would save it, but I feel like an Animal Crossing character in this. I tried to style it, and it was just not flattering on me. It's too short to make a dress, and not enough material there to make shorts. So I feel like this was a failure. What do you guys think? Can I still save it?
Once I figured out it was a sleeping garment, I was like, okay, I can make a pajama top. So I made this really cute baby doll pajama top. I thought I ruined this thrifted dress when I turned it into a skirt. So I'm trying again, and this time turning the skirt into a top and adding some straps. Turns out this garment isn't actually a dress, it's a nightshirt. Well, no harm done, because I'm gonna bring it back to its roots by making a really cute pajama top with some bows on the strap. I'm teaching myself how to sew because it's such a useful skill, but it definitely does not come natural to me. There are so many steps and require a lot of attention to detail, which is absolutely not my strength. But even so, picking up a productive hobby like this has saved me a ton of money and is forcing me to slow down and take things one step at a time. Something that I would love to transfer to other parts of my life. And it was totally worth it. As a reminder, here is the before and here is the after. I'm obsessed with how this turned out. It's so girly and cute. What do you guys think? And I didn't even need to change the elastic. I actually love this. It kind of just came together. I don't really know how. I didn't really think about it. One day it just clicked and I was like, this is what I'm gonna make with it. I added these little bows that I think are so cute, and it's a perfect pajama top. I don't know what else to say about it. So these shorts were long linen pants. I got it for $3.50. I made it into shorts. I hemmed it. Now I'm a hemming expert, so I can hem anything, okay? As long as I have a calm mind and coffee in the morning. And I just made it a really nice beachy classic linen pair of shorts. And then with the top, I'm really proud of myself for this one. With the top, I made this really cute top. I removed the rhinestones off of these white linen pants, cut and sewed them into the cutest pair of shorts, and now I'm left with 2 leg pieces to make a top. It's not a lot of fabric, so I'm limited in my creative liberties, but I came up with something that I think will turn out really cute. I took all the pieces apart and made 4 rectangles, and then folded 2 of them in half. These pieces will make the upper part of the top. I cut the bottom 2 pieces just a bit to make straps, and you can kind of see the vision coming together here. This is only the 3rd shirt I've sewed so far, and I'm trying to apply one new skill for every project. For this one, I chose to practice top stitching to give the seams a little bit more structure, which is a little scary because I still need practice with sewing a straight line. And then I decided to add one more new skill because why not? I'm not sure what this is called, but I've seen people use this style to pull the fabric closer to the body, so I decided to do it for the back. I sewed the remaining 2 pieces together, gathered and sewed it to the top, and as it was coming together, I was starting to think that this top was getting way too short. But it turned out so good, and I can't believe that I made this from scratch.
Oh my gosh, guys, I am obsessed with this outfit.
Not bad for a sewing newbie, and a $3.50 pair of pants. Yay! And I made this up, so I'm so proud of myself for it. And it's one of the cutest matching outfits I have ever seen. I love it so much. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching my entire video and looking at everything that I made in my first year sewing. Let me know what you think of all of these projects, if you would do any or if you have done any, and if you have any suggestions for me, because I am still new. I'm always looking for new projects, and I think I'm gonna be doing a lot more clothes in the near future. So if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel and comment below, like this video, because it helps me grow, and I will see you in the next one. I just want to show you this shirt again. It's so cute.